Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Boom Broadcasting presents Three from Deep. I'm your host, Jason Colenso. Welcome to the show. How's everybody doing today? Thank you all for joining me. Again, I do appreciate it. Here we are, another Monday, another exciting week of NBA behind us. We'll touch base on what happened last week, get into the Emirates Cup here. We got our final two now, which is pretty exciting. Also, too, now the trade window has opened. I know we had one little trade this week we'll talk about. We also got some trade rumors and some things we'll touch on to see what teams out there are going to be doing here within the next month or so with trades and teams getting better, bad teams looking at getting worse. And we'll do our little halftime special here. I got this time, it's a pretty exciting one, and I'm pretty excited about this one. My top 5 all-time NBA nicknames. There's some great NBA nicknames out there. So we're going to touch base on those, and then we'll see what's going on the week that's coming up here where, let's see, we're now the 16th. So we are 9 days until Christmas. We will have some exciting Christmas games. And yes, I will be dropping a 3 from Deep Christmas week too, do a little Christmas holiday special. So it's pretty exciting. So without further ado, let's jump into it and talk about the week that was. All right, guys, Emirates Cup. Looks like we have our 2 finalists. Salute. First, let's talk about Saturday's games. We had the late games. OKC taking out the Rockets. It was a heck of a game. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander dropping 32, showing that he is stepping up to be on our MVP watch. Again, guys, my crack production staff. So that's my graphics here. MVP watch for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. He had 20 in the second half. The OKC started out slow in this game up to about halftime, and then turned it on second half, dropped 70 points. So great job there. OKC advancing to the finals. Score of the game was 111-96. Rockets, great team, still young. Amen Thompson, 19 points. Alfred Sengun, 13 points, 11 rebounds, but not enough. Gilgeous-Alexander, 32. Jalen Williams, 20. Dort, 19 and 9. But my guy that I want to talk about on that OKC team, who I miss in New York, I think he was a really part of the heart and soul of that New York Knicks team, Isaiah Hartenstein. 21 points, 9 for 12 shooting. He is, even though he's a big man, he is a little spark plug. I do miss him in New York. It was tough to send him or to see him leave the Knicks. And I think he is thriving there in OKC, especially that OKC doesn't have Chet Holmgren. So Isaiah Hartenstein has stepped in and has been a force for that team. OKC still in first place in the West, looking every bit as good as they did last year. So great job there, OKC advancing to the finals in that Emirates Cup. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, again, up there, tops for MVP consideration. He is playing some excellent basketball. So that was the late game. Let's drop to the early game, to the actual guy that I think is the major front runner for MVP right now, who has turned, talk about flipping the switch, man. The Milwaukee Bucks have come out of nowhere, flipped the switch. Giannis Antetokounmpo has shown he is the best player in the NBA right now, period. I love Joker. Joker is on a tear, dropping 50-plus, almost triple-doubles. I love me some Joker, but his team is not playing very well. Milwaukee Bucks have a nice little surge going on. They're 6th in the East. Giannis and the Milwaukee Bucks beat the Atlanta Hawks on Saturday, the early game, to advance to the finals. Giannis, 32, 14, and 9, almost a triple-double. But his power, his presence on that team has vaulted them up the Eastern Conference standings, and I think it's going to bring them even higher because he just is playing out of his mind right now. Damian Lillard dropped 25, so Dame time. Good job there, man. But Giannis, you're going to get the MVP watch, too. He is my front runner right now. I think he has taken the lead. I think he is first, Gilgeous Alexander second, and Joker third. I know it's crazy. All those guys playing out of their mind right now, but look at what that Milwaukee Bucks team is doing, especially with all the drama and the, oh man, all of a sudden they're terrible. We're going to trade Giannis. Doc Rivers can't coach his way out of a wet paper bag. Nope. Bucks looking really, really good. That was a great game. We got 110-102. So you're going to have the Milwaukee Bucks versus the Oklahoma City Thunder in the finals on Tuesday night for the Emirates Cup. That's going to be a heck of a matchup, East-West. But Giannis, MVP performance right now, he's averaging 32.7 a game, 11.5 rebounds a game, and 6.1 assists a game. MVP numbers. And his team is winning, and they are making their way up those Eastern Conference standings. So watch out for those Milwaukee Bucks. They are doing some big things, and that is because of the Greek Freak. So great job there. Also in the news this week, 76ers. Holy cow. Hold on, I got to have a sip of coffee because you guys, you're making me... Whew. If you are a 76ers fan, you are sick. Your outstanding rookie, Jared McCain, is now out indefinitely with a torn lateral meniscus in his left knee. Friday night, complained of knee soreness, came out, diagnosed, surgery. He's going to be out indefinitely. It was a loss to the Pacers, 121-107. He was averaging, 15.3 points, 15.3 points per game, 2.4 rebounds, and 2.6 assists. He was having a phenomenal rookie season, up there for Rookie of the Year, playing really, really well. Stood in for when Maxey was out. But man, the 76ers cannot catch a break. I don't know if it's bad karma, juju, whatever they got to do to get the demons out of the building there in Philly. They better call the witch doctor because it is not looking good for them. And then also throw in a sinus fracture for Joel Embiid. Only his 6th game played this year. They're 12th in the East, 7-16. But that is a very, very weak 7-16. There's a bunch of 7-win teams there. I think they just are ahead on percentage points from being second to last, right down there with the Wizards. That team is right now dysfunctional. It is not playing very well. It is hurt. It is a hot, hot mess in Philadelphia. Joel, playoff P, Tyrese Maxey, the only bright spot of that team right now. I hope the heck they don't ruin him there in Philly because he's playing really, really well. Jared McCain, again, out indefinitely with that left torn meniscus in his knee. That is a damn shame. He was playing really, really well. Again, consideration for Rookie of the Year. Philadelphia, y'all need some help, man. I don't know what you got going on over there, but it's definitely in trouble. And then let's jump into trade season has begun. Officially started on the 15th. And we had our first one halfway decent of the year. You had the Golden State Warriors trading with the New York Nets, or excuse me, Brooklyn Nets, still in New York. Dennis Schroeder taking his 18.4 points, 6.6 assists that he was having the Nets' great season so far. He's taking that to Golden State. Golden State needing some help. Steph Curry needs a right-hand man. Right now, he doesn't have that. Clay's in Dallas. Draymond's on the bench. Nobody else has really stepped up on that squad. Kuminga is doing okay, but is he really plan B? So this influx of points and a nice shooter for Schroeder helps the Golden State Warriors. They give up DeAnthony Melton, who was injured this year, so it was kind of a throwaway anyways, and 3 second-round picks unrestricted. So 5 in the West. Golden State still needs some more help. What else is Golden State going to do to shake and we get some power moves? Let's talk about, real quick, guys, let's talk about some trade rumors. I know already in the beginning of the year we heard about Giannis. When the Bucks, he wasn't happy because everything was, the whole world was collapsing with the Milwaukee Bucks. But I think that Giannis is not going anywhere right now, and because Milwaukee's playing out of their mind. And why would you trade the next MVP of this year to anybody? So let's get that out of the way now. I know we heard some crazy rumors about LeBron James going to Golden State and the Lakers doing some things. Let's temper that a little bit. I mean, come on. I think we're just looking for something to throw at the wall and stick. You're looking for something for Stephen A. Smith to start yelling and screaming into the microphone about. So I don't see that. I don't see that happening at all. But let's talk about the Lakers. I know they're looking for a possible point guard. They need a little bit of help there. And then you also have them looking for a big man to be paired up with Anthony Davis. One of the names that's been floating around from the Wizards is Giannis Valanciunas. And I know it's a tough name to say, but he is looking like the Lakers are eyeballing him to pair with Anthony Davis. Lakers, again, probably looking for a point guard. And let's talk about those Wizards. You talk about the worst team in the NBA. They are a hot mess. It started with I don't want to say threat, but the attempt to move them into Northern Virginia, which was met with a lot of anger and angst, especially around here. I live here in Northern Virginia. So that was a big to-do with that ownership group there. The Wizards they haven't had a good team. I think maybe when Gilbert Arenas was there. I mean, I can't remember when the Washington Wizards were good. Maybe when they were the Bullets. I think they need to change the name back. I know they changed it for a reason. Excuse me. But I think the Wizards need to do something. But it looks like the Wizards are going to have themselves a nice old fire sale, NBA style. Nobody is safe. I know Malcolm Brogdon has been mentioned. Again, Valanciunas is mentioned out there being traded. Kyle Kuzma could probably get traded too. I don't think anybody's safe on that Washington Wizards team. So watch for the Wizards to literally unload everybody and probably go for some draft picks, try to unload some payroll so they can save some money, because they are definitely not putting a good team out there on the field. Field. I usually call it a field, but that's fine. You also got the Pelicans looking at possibly moving Brandon Ingram. The extension talks between the Pelicans and Ingram are not going so well, so don't be surprised to see Ingram on the move. And then, again, let's talk about Jimmy Buckets. Jimmy Butler. The Warriors are eyeballing Jimmy Butler. I think that would be a decent fit for him, but he also talked about the Rockets, Mavericks, and Suns. Mavericks and Suns, I don't see Jimmy Butler really fitting in very well with those teams. But I would love to see Jimmy Buckets. I'll stay on the Heat because I think he's one of those Heat lifers. I think he's fits so well into the culture of the Miami Heat. He just needs some help. I know Hero has been stepping up here a little bit lately. Bam Adebayo, he gets his, but I think they're just missing something else, that one extra piece to really get them over the hump. Because they have overachieved numerous years, thanks to Coach Spo, who is probably one of the most underrated coaches in the NBA right now and possibly in NBA history, because he has coached some crazy teams. He has coached some big personalities, and he has coached some teams that really didn't belong in the playoffs, but yet he got them there. So, but Jimmy Butler, I really would like to see him go to the Rockets. I think the Rockets are a great, young, fun team to watch. They are playing really, really well. They are in the hunt in the West, but they're missing that little piece, and I think that piece is a good, solid veteran leadership. And Jimmy Butler is that veteran leadership. You put him on that team, watch the Rockets make a challenge in the West. I think that makes them instantly a contender to be in the NBA Finals. That's how good that team is. OKC, they got a solid squad there. But you put Jimmy Butler on that young team, in Houston, they'll be doing some things. But it'll be interesting to see what happens, folks. Again, this is just the infancy, little baby now, infancy of the trade talks. This week, I think things are going to start heating up. And once we get past Christmas, I think it's going to be kind of downhill. So you're going to see a lot of movement this week, and we'll try to keep you updated. I do my 2-minute warnings, guys. If you haven't liked and subscribed to Boom Broadcasting yet on the YouTube network, please do. You can also find me at Jason Colenso on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. I do a 2-minute warning Tuesday through Fridays. I usually get on there in the late afternoons, evening times, and do a 2-minute blurb about what's going on in the NBA, because so much goes on daily. This is a one-time podcast that I do here on Mondays. I'm hoping I get a little better at this here, and maybe I can do this a little more often throughout the week, because the NBA is forever changing, forever getting some things going on. So, being that said, I was excited about this. This is going to be one of my most exciting halftimes. I usually try to do something a little bit different. I've done my top fives here. I know I broke some packs. One of my first episodes, some basketball packs. I haven't done that because it's Christmas time. I can't buy myself anything. So anybody wants to buy me anything out there, first of all, you can do me a Christmas present by liking and subscribing to Boom Broadcasting and watching the show, making some comments. That is free. It's amazing. Lots of great content on there. But if you want to buy me something, buy me some blaster packs of NBA, and I will open them here on Boom Broadcasting's 3 from Deep and give you a shout out. So I appreciate that, guys. But here we are, my top 5 NBA nicknames. You talk about and the association in NBA has some of the greatest nicknames in all of sports. And I love them. You get just, NBA, NFL, Major League Baseball. There are so many great nicknames in sports out there. The Bambino, the Great One, His Airness. But these are my top 5. First 5. We're going to go with Chocolate Thunder, Daryl Dawkins. One of my favorite players, throwback, used to dunk the ball with a power unbeknownst to man, Daryl Dawkins, called Chocolate. I call him Chocolate, and he got the nickname, which I found out, which was kind of cool. Stevie Wonder was actually the one that gave him the nickname. So when you can dunk a basketball like that to make a blind man see, you know you're doing something right. Love it. Chocolate Thunder, Daryl Dawkins. Awesome nickname, man. Love it. Then we're going to talk about Larry Bird, one of the greatest shooters of all time. So great. You got a couple of unbelievable nicknames. The Hick from French Lick, which is awesome because usually that's a derogatory term to be called a Hick, but it's a term of endearment for him. And then Larry Legend. So the Hick from French Lick, Larry Bird, still one of the greatest. He's not white, he's clear. I think it's crazy how the legend of Larry Bird progresses. His trash talking is legendary on the NBA court. Usually guys like that just shoot and just do some of the things that like Larry Bird did are usually like the quiet guys. But no, Larry Bird was not afraid to scuffle. He was not afraid to talk trash. And he was not afraid to shoot the ball in your eye. So the Hick from French Lick, one of my favorite nicknames of all time. Number 3, Dr. J. Mr. Julius Erving, one of the greatest basketball players of all time. Just an unbelievable player. Philadelphia 76er. You go back to the ABA. He is one of the greatest of all times. I don't know if he's really on the Mount Rushmore, but he is, for me, one of the most exciting basketball players that I've ever saw. I saw him my younger years, and then seeing him throughout in some of the highlights. He is definitely an underrated basketball player to me because he's not put in the top 10 with all these other guys, but I think he is severely underrated. And again, one of my favorite nicknames of all time, Dr. J, Julius Erving. Love it. And then probably one of the greatest basketball players of all time. I would put him, he's in my top 5. Earvin Magic Johnson. Because he was magic with the basketball, baby. Magic Johnson. His nickname became synonymous with him. There's a lot of basketball players that are known by one name: Shaq, Kobe, Magic. It just so happens that they're all Lakers. It's crazy. But Magic Johnson changed basketball forever. Him and Larry Bird and their battles in the 80s, East Coast versus West, the first East Coast, West Coast battle. Forget hip-hop. Larry Bird, Magic Johnson beat you guys to it. They created the buzz in the United States about the NBA. NBA during the 70s was in a dark, dark place. And Magic Johnson and Larry Bird brought it to the light. And a lot of it started with the Showtime Lakers because that was the brightest light in the universe right now during those 80s was Magic Johnson. And he was unbelievable. He could play just about any position on the court. Unbelievable. Number 2. And my number 1 nickname of all time, and it's crazy because, again, we had some great nicknames. And I'm going to give some honorable mentions out there, and I wrote some of these down. Nate Tiny Archibald. Of course, you had Kobe, the Black Mamba. Sean Marion. I don't know if y'all remember him, but Sean Marion, the Matrix. I thought that was a great nickname. Robert Parrish, the Chief. Unbelievable player. Wilt Chamberlain. Wilt the Stilt. One of the greatest NBA players of all time, again, in my top 5. Steph Curry, the babyface assassin. He still looks like he's 20. It's crazy, even with the facial hair. Andrei Kirilenko. His number was 47. He was Russian, AK-47. That was one of my favorite nicknames of all time. Andrei Kirilenko, AK-47. I thought that was great. And Pistol Pete Maravich. Got to throw him in there. So that's some of my honorable mentions of favorite nicknames of all time. Tim Duncan, the big fundamental, the Admiral, David Robinson. I mean, we had Muggsy Bogues. We had some great nicknames. The NBA is known for that. But my number one is the round mound of rebound, Charles Barkley. I thought that was awesome. When I heard that, it fit Charles Barkley to a T. He was one of the greatest basketball players to ever play this game. I don't think, again, he gets enough credit. Talk about somebody underrated. Charles Barkley, definitely underrated as one of the greatest basketball players. Look at his stats. Look at his performance. I know he didn't win a chip. Philadelphia, Phoenix, came close a couple of times. But one of my all-time favorite nicknames, the round mound of rebound, Sir Charles Barkley, my number one. Like, subscribe, comment. Let me know some of your favorites. I'm sure I missed a ton of them. So please, hit me up. And let's jump in. Grab my notes here. Let's jump into what we got going on this week. We got a hot slate of games this week. Let's start off Monday night. You got Lakers Kings. Some of the good games going on Monday. Heat Magic, the Battle of Florida right there. Can the Magic hold the course till Paolo gets back since Franz went down? The Grizzlies versus the Hawks. Ja playing really, really well. I'd like to see him step his game up and get into the MVP conversation. Warriors Timberwolves. Can the Warriors, can they start winning some games again and put a string of games together? Can they start looking like a real basketball team? They're struggling a little bit. Then you have the Mavs and Clippers. Tuesday night, you have the Emirates Cup, the one game. You have the Bucks versus the Thunder. I think that's going to be an unbelievable game. 2 MVPs going at it with Shea and Giannis. I think Giannis has the upper hand on that, but we'll talk about that here on Tuesday. And then Wednesday, no games. You get a day off. Take it easy. Watch some table tennis or something. Thursday night, Thunder and Magic, Hawks and Spurs. Wemby's been kind of quiet. I haven't mentioned him in the last couple of weeks here. What's going on with the Spurs? I'd like to see them make some trading, make some moves, get Wembanyama some help. I'd like to see him up there in the MVP consideration, considering he is an anomaly. Clips, Mavs, Pacers, Grizz, and Knicks and Timberwolves play on Thursday. Friday, you got the Bucks and the Cavs. A heck of a matchup. Cavs still number 1 in the East. Bucks making moves. Can those Bucks really start making a name for themselves? Start taking down some of them top teams. And then you got the Thunder Heat. That's going to be a nice little matchup there. And then Saturday, you got Lakers Kings, Heat Magic, Warriors Wolves, Grizz Hawks, and Clippers Mavs. So you have a full slate of some great games this week. The week before Christmas. Guys, thank you so much. I appreciate all the love and the support. Like and subscribe again. Boom Broadcasting on the YouTube channel. Check us out. We have 3 from Deep. We have a fantasy football podcast. We have wrestling podcasts. We have a Packers podcast. We have baseball. We have Podcast Smitty, who talks about just about everything else that's out there. He even throws hockey in there. So show some love. Mr. Michael Davis, our president, does Out of Pocket. Hits all the hotness going on in sports, whether it be college, the pros. Guys, like and subscribe again. I thank you very much. My name is Jason Colenso. This has been 3 from Deep. And wishing you all a happy holidays, a Merry Christmas. Please be safe out there. The weather is changing. So thank you very much. Check us out, 12 o'clock Mondays. We drop this episode, but you can watch it at any time on demand on the Boom Broadcasting Network. Thank you guys very much. I love y'all. Send me some comments. You got any questions? We out.